What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James, man. I'm back in the building, and I just want to drop a quick video on my thoughts right quick. And I told y'all about that Arizona game, man. It's sticking out like a sore thumb. I told y'all that was a game we could not lose. That was a game we could not drop. I understand, we were still trying to find ourselves. They were 3-2 before we went on that nice win streak. But I said we could not absolutely lose to the Cardinals. I know we lost Trevin Diggs. The team was not up for it. But like I said that game was going to come back to haunt us, and it is right now. We're tied up with the Eagles. We have the better conference record, but that 3 losses to the NFC, San Francisco, Eagles, and the Cardinals, they are one up on us. And if they win out with the easier schedule, they have the Seahawks, the Cardinals, and the Giants twice. Now, Giants are playing better with DeVito. I think the Seahawks are getting Geno Smith back, and we saw they're tough. I believe they're at home, and you know how Seattle plays at home. I believe that game's at home for them. I'm not for sure. And then the Cardinals with Kyler Murray, that could be a setup game for them. So hopefully something like that could happen, but you never want other teams to control your destiny. And especially with this season, with the Cowboys being undefeated at home, 14-game win streak, home field advantage looks like it actually will be a home field advantage for the Cowboys this year. And we may not get it. That's crazy. The first time we really got this crowd going crazy and we got a home field advantage, it feels like we may not even play a home game. That's crazy. So I will definitely say Cowboys use this game, these next 3 games, because 3 of your 4 games are on the road: Buffalo, Miami, and Washington. Use those 3 games to I don't know, if is Detroit at home. Yeah, I think Detroit is at home, because that's the last game for Jimmy Johnson, the Ring of Honor. I believe that is. So um you got to handle your business. Use these 3 games on the road, and that Washington game, you're probably not going to be able to rest starters, because that you're probably going to have to play that whole season through, because it's probably going to come down to the last game of the season. But use these 3 games, Cowboys, as playoff games, because you might be playing on the road right now. You're projected to be a 5th seed still by Vegas, the computer, all that. You're still projected because that Arizona game. But as I said, use these 3 away games to use them as playoff games. These are playoff games, because you need to win these games if you're trying to still win the East. If you're still trying to, get a top seed, these games are playoff games right here against playoff caliber teams. Buffalo's fighting for their playoff lives, and they can't afford to drop any game. So that Buffalo game, I keep on saying that Buffalo game is going to be crazy. I feel like, remember that game where Tony Romo threw 5 interceptions against Buffalo, but we still won it? I ain't saying Dak Prescott going to throw no 5 interceptions, but I just feel like it's going to be a weird, wonky game. And that's really going to test us right there. I don't know how the Miami game shapes up. It's a little far ahead of me, but I feel like that Buffalo game is going to be hella weird, and that's going to be a tough game. So we're going to need that game for our playoff aspirations if you have to go on the road, because Dallas is 3-3 on the road. 2 of the games were blowouts. Cardinals, Niners, 2 of those games were blowouts. Played a lot better after Dallas found themselves against the Eagles. You played a lot better against the Eagles after the Cowboys found themselves after that beatdown against the Niners. So got to take advantage of these games on the road, because you could be playing on the road. And damn, I said that Arizona game was going to stand out, and it is right now. You want to control your own destiny, but you're not. So I'm ending on that. Games stand out like a sore thumb, but you got to treat these games that you're playing on the road as playoff games, because you might be going on the road and you might not be able to use that playoff advantage with the home streak going with the Cowboys. And also, need a big game from Damone Clark. I said Damone Clark was going to be a 100-tackle guy for the next 5 years. He's right around 85 tackles on the year, so it looks he's got 4 games left. Looks like he could hit that threshold. And Damone Clark hasn't had a bad season, but I feel like he could have had a more impactful season. And this game against Buffalo, he needs to have that game. Marquise Bell's filled in well at the linebacker position. But Damone Clark has to have that game. He needs to have a 10, 12 tackle game, be all over the place. You might be playing against those tight ends and Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox, James Cook coming out the backfield. You might be used heavily. They might be. This needs to be a game where you're in that backfield. You're all over the field. You're making plays. I need a Damone Clark truth game. And that's what needs to happen in this Buffalo Bills game. So Damone Clark, to me, out of all the players, especially on the defense, he needs to have that type of game. So you know where Josh Allen likes to go with that football. He's really loving Kincaid. He's really taking over him being the guy, but his yards per average is only like 8. So he's not like he's hitting them deep. He's hitting them underneath. They're hitting James Cook in screens. So those things are going to have to be found out in this game against Buffalo. Playoff game, I got the Cowboys winning 24-20 in a wonky game, but Damone Clark needs to be a standout in this game, and Cowboys need to treat this like the playoff game because you might be heading on the road in 2023, 2024. Big game, James. I'm out. Peace.